Hey, my name is Erik. I'm 37 years old, and I've worked with Andy for about 2.5 years. We just wrapped up our coaching, and it was an incredibly good experience and one of the best investments that I've ever made. And so I wanted to share a little bit about why I decided to work with Andy and how everything went. So, first of all, I came to coaching with a fair bit of experience working out at the gym. I was an athlete in high school, but I had almost no information about nutrition or diets and very little experience with any of that. I'd say I probably hit my low point maybe a year before I decided to work with Andy. I was just basically getting fatter, not doing a great job of making time for the gym. And so I made a decision that I was going to try and make some changes. And I did make some progress when I was doing it on my own. And the issue was just that I didn't feel like I was on a path to anything that was going to be transformative. And that it was a lot of work, and maybe I was going to succeed at losing a little bit of weight, getting a little bit stronger, but that ultimately I wasn't on a path that was going to be transformative. So I saw Andy give a talk at a conference that I was attending. And I think for me, that was a light bulb moment because one, I saw some of the before and after photos and was thinking to myself, if these guys can do it, I can do it. And secondly, that if I'm going to put in this much effort, I want to look like that and not just get a little less fat. And I also thought that Andy's pitch, so to speak, was refreshingly conservative. He wasn't promising to make me a model or a bodybuilder. I remember the thing that resonated the most for me was that Andy said, you're going to be able to reach your genetic potential, whatever that may be. And I thought that was really attractive and, again, just refreshing. Also that Andy didn't try and minimize that this was going to take some serious effort, that the process is really simple and straightforward, but that ultimately it is a ton of work to execute this, and it's going to take mental investment and a ton of energy. And that's what I wanted to hear. I didn't want somebody telling me that there was some supplement that I wasn't taking that I should be taking that was going to make all the difference. I knew intuitively that wasn't true. And so the way Andy approaches this really resonated for me. And so I went into this with the goal of getting into great shape, looking the best I've ever looked, and seeing what my genetic potential actually is. And maybe more importantly for me was that I wanted to be able to take this skill set to learn how to control my weight and my appearance and how to use my diet as a tool to stay looking the way that I wanted to. And that was definitely one of the best outcomes of the coaching, is that I learned how this stuff works. And I think that was incredibly valuable. I'm super confident that I'm going to be able to hold on to that information and put it to use for the rest of my life. So it's made a tremendously positive long-term impact for me. And it was a really good investment on that front. So what was coaching like? Working with Andy was absolutely awesome. I always felt that he was fully invested in my goals and had made reaching my goals his top priority. I know Andy works with lots of people, but it always felt like it was just me and that I was his top priority, top concern. I think it was a little bit hard for me at the beginning to accept that the plan was so straightforward and simple. Basically, keep track of your diet, keep track of the calories you're eating, and you're aiming for a target, and work out hard 3 or 4 days a week. Consistent adherence is incredibly powerful. And if you execute the plan that you build together with Andy or one of his coaches, there's no question that you're going to get the results. I think if I'm 100% honest, I probably learned everything that I really needed to learn to be able to do this myself in the first 6 months, roughly. Andy puts all of the secrets of the Rip Body program on his blog, right? He answers questions, and if you want a more sort of compact resource, his diet adjustments manual literally includes all the information that I would have needed to do this myself. But when you're in the thick of it, it's going to feel like there are times that you're not making progress. That's the problem with consistency over time, is that it takes a lot of time. And so sometimes it's just too gradual to notice. And I kept going for 2.5 years because, first and most importantly, I just didn't want to make mistakes that were going to make this process take even longer. So I didn't want to be second guessing and wondering, okay, am I eating too much? Am I not eating enough? Am I losing muscle? Ongoing coaching was just a way for me to outsource that responsibility to Andy and to feel super confident that I was on the right track, that all I had to do was just keep following the plan, and that I was going to get where I wanted to go. And that was incredibly valuable. For me, it was well worth it. I didn't want the possibility that I made mistakes to slow me down. And also I realized that it can be super discouraging. If you think you're not making progress, it's so easy to give up. And so just having that security of knowing that I was on the right track was fundamental to getting to my goals. I'm from the US, but I live full-time in Brazil. I travel a lot. I usually do 4 to 6 international trips each year, and maybe a half dozen more trips that are a little closer here around Brazil. And I thought that was going to be an obstacle. And maybe it's true to some extent. I was worried about whether I was going to be able to follow the diet with just a crazy travel schedule. But it's something that I got very used to, and it wasn't that big of a deal. And during the time that I was working on the training, I went to Carnival twice in Rio, went to a week-long wedding in Europe, and I was able to fully enjoy those experiences. And I think a big part of that is that I knew, that I could count on Andy to say, yeah, you can take a break here. We're going to get back to the plan after this, and this is not going to screw everything up. It's okay to live a little bit. And so I think I was able to achieve a really good mix because of that. And having that confidence that Andy was there to make sure that I was going to stay on track, and also that I wasn't going to burn out, that there was the ability to take breaks, there was the ability to enjoy mom's food when I go home for Christmas and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a really good experience. And at the end, I came away feeling like I had gotten to the point that I wanted to with where my physique is, but also that I know how to maintain that. I know how to take it to the next level. If I want to go back through this process again sometime in the future, I know how to do the bulking, I know how to do the cutting. So it's a skill set that I've taken with me. And if you're gonna make this choice to work with Andy, I think or one of his other coaches, I think it's really important that you're fully mentally committed to doing it, because it is a lot of effort, but it's incredibly simple to follow the plan. It takes work, it takes discipline, but the roadmap that you're gonna build out with your coach is going to take you to the destination you want to go. And at that point, it's just a matter of executing it. So it was a phenomenal experience. I would recommend working with the Rip Body team to anybody that I know that has this type of goal to do something transformative and acquire some lifetime knowledge.